Just came through a very short section there of what I'm going to think are I'm going to call them lilacs, because they smell like lilacs. And there's a whole bunch of them on either side of the trail here for about 50 feet. And yeah, the odor to me is a lilac. It reminds me of my my grandmother's house in Denver, where I spent some time as a kid. And the smell, because she had lilacs in her backyard. Interesting. There's some white ones and there's some bluish ones here. So, kind of interesting. There's a few more down here, but I think that's pretty much the end of it. I don't know if you can see the frost on the tent. That's going to have to dry off before I pack up. Because of all the storms this last winter, we keep seeing this a lot, which really slows things down. Tree in the middle of the trail, so we have to navigate around. This isn't a bad one. Some of them are pretty bad. But that's the way it is. Once the crews get out here, they'll have some chainsaws and do some trimming and fix that, but they just haven't been out yet. Snow's only been going off these trails for a short while, so. Well, I spoke too soon about no snow in the trail. We're at 7,700 feet and going up. And there is some snow, but it's not bad. There's good boot tracks. And, this is just minor stuff left over, primarily in the south sides of the hills, so not a big deal, but it does slow you down. Well, passing mile 300. Wow. It doesn't seem that long, and yet it does at the same time. Some of those brutal climbs add up. Just last night before camping, made my last water crossing at Deep Creek. My feet are still a little damp, obviously, with dry socks but damp shoes. And that's Deep Creek down there. We got a ways to go to get out of here, but at least we don't have to cross it again. We have to cross another one, but not this one, I think. So, and then tonight I'm hoping to get to Highway 173, where I can get a ride into Joshua Inn, which has a great deli. Camping for $5 in your tent. And I think a lot of us are going to do that just to get to the deli and get some real food and real breakfast before we hit the trail again. Coming out of Deep Canyon again. Interesting rock formations, the layering over time. You can see the various layers that have been laid down over millions of years. Kind of cool to see that. And then you got this little guy that fell off at some point, and you got the layers in it too. Third crossing of Holcomb Creek. Third crossing today. cold. Oh, it's cold. And coming up from down there, last night stayed at the Joshua Inn. $5 for tent camping, but more importantly, they had outdoor showers, and they had a deli for food, and they had cold sodas and cold beers. So large group of folks stopped there last night, re-tanked up on some food. We still got some distance to cover before we get to our next resupply, so having some real sandwiches and real food and chips and drinks were nice. Well, that's the trail going forward. We're still about 4 miles out of Cajon Pass on the I-15, and our McDonald's, which we're looking forward to for lunch. In case you're wondering, we're still working towards McDonald's. I'm going to say probably less than half a mile now, thereabouts. Well, the sign says McDonald's 4/10 of a mile. Oh, there's the Golden Arches. Lunchtime. So the PCT actually goes under I-15. I'm going to cut this in a couple places just to shorten it up for you. Hello, how you doing?
How are you?
Pretty good. Had my fill of McDonald's and ready to move on. Well, got in McDonald's. Unfortunately, their water was off, so their lobby was closed, but you could order through the drive-thru. Of course, PCT hikers don't have vehicles, so they had a separate door open we could order. Unfortunately, because they had no water, I could get no Coke. But I had 2 strawberry shakes while I was at it, which was good. It cooled me off. Then I went next door to Chevron at a little mini market and bought a few things for resupply for the next couple of days. And got a couple of sodas, Mountain Dews. One I drank there, one I've got in my pack, and I'm going to set it in a cool stream later this evening probably and drink it either tonight or tomorrow. Our next stop is Wrightwood. 2 days maybe, depends on the train whether we're all up and down and whatever, so we'll see. But 2 days, maybe 2.5, we'll see. Anyway, that's our next goal, Wrightwood. Every once in a while you'll find what we call a trail register, and this one here happens to be at this canyon, Swart Out Canyon PCT, and inside you'll find, here's the trail register for this year, actually 21, 22, and 23. So I signed my name in the book. It's kind of a tradition. It also if for some reason you are lost and someone's looking for you, they might be able to track you down from those. But now with InReach and all the GPS stuff we have, it's probably not as necessary. But tradition that goes back a number of years, so we all tend to follow it and put our name in the book. Sometimes you can see names of people in there that you've met earlier in the trail and see that they're ahead of you. Or people behind you can see that you're still in the trail. So just a thing to do. I hate these weeds. They got these little stickies in them that just work their way into everything, into your socks, into your pants, into your pack. And when they work their way in, they start to poke you. So we're just going through these, and of course you rub up against them with your clothes and they stick to you. And I already feel one in my sock. It's working its way into my ankle and wanting to poke me, so I'm gonna have to stop at some point and take that out when it becomes a big annoyance. A little lizard in front of me. He's my hiking partner for right now. He keeps running along the trail ahead of me. Most lizards eventually, after a few feet, run off to the side. But he's just running down the trail. Oh, there he goes. He must have found his home. Well, I'm not sure you can see this, but went around the corner and this is where we're going. Here's our trail. I don't know if you can see this in the camera. I think you can. Trail there, trail back up on top of the hill, and then trail over there. Up, up, up. This is why the scenery gets boring sometimes. It's the same thing. So I don't always film it. But I thought I'd give you a shot of this one, just so you get a feel for what I'm doing.